By 2006, Quiznos had opened more stores that year than Subway did. Toasted subs, better ingredients, a cult following that swore it beat Subway in a blind taste test, because it usually did. Then something strange happened. The company that was winning on product started closing stores by the hundreds, not because customers stopped liking the food, because of a clause buried in almost every franchise contract Quiznos ever signed. One that meant corporate could profit, even while the person running the store lost everything. Stay with this, because the real story isn't the one most people assume. It wasn't Subway's $5 footlong that killed Quiznos. It wasn't the recession, even though that didn't help. The actual killer was a business model so lopsided that thousands of small business owners bet their savings on a sandwich shop, and the parent company had already won before any of them sold a single sub. Quiznos started in Denver in 1981, built around something Subway didn't have at the time: toasted bread, real ovens, a menu that felt like an upgrade. For 2 decades, that edge worked. By the mid-2000s, the chain exploded past 5,000 locations, one of the fastest-growing restaurant brands in the country. Investors loved the story. Franchise buyers lined up around the block, some putting in their entire retirement savings for the right to open one. On paper, Quiznos looked unstoppable. But a franchise chain doesn't run on paper. It runs on thousands of individual people signing leases, hiring staff, and betting their own money that the brand behind them actually wants them to succeed. That assumption was about to get tested, because here's what almost none of those buyers understood before they signed. Quiznos didn't need their stores to make money. It just needed them to open. Every Quiznos franchisee was required to buy equipment, meat, bread, napkins, nearly everything, through Quiznos-approved distributors, at prices Quiznos itself controlled. That meant the company was collecting revenue on the supply chain, not on whether the sandwiches sold. A location could be losing money every single month, and corporate was still getting paid on every shipment that came through the door, which flips the entire incentive structure. If you make money selling franchises and supplies rather than running profitable stores, the smart move isn't opening fewer, stronger locations. It's opening as many as possible, as fast as possible, even in markets that couldn't support them, even blocks apart from each other. By 2007, analysts were flagging Quiznos as having one of the highest franchisee failure rates in American fast food. Some estimates put average sales per store at less than half of what a comparable Subway was pulling in. Franchisees weren't underperforming by a little. Many were underwater from the month they opened, paying rent, paying staff, paying inflated supply costs, and still not covering the bills. And when thousands of people lose money on the exact same business model at the exact same time, they start comparing notes. Franchisee associations started forming, something that almost never happens unless people feel they've been set up. They compared contracts, they compared supply invoices, and they found the same pattern everywhere, locked into buying overpriced ingredients from Quiznos-mandated vendors, while new stores kept opening nearby, splitting the same customer base, even thinner. By the late 2000s, groups of franchisees filed lawsuits accusing Quiznos of exactly this, forcing owners into a supply system that guaranteed corporate profit regardless of store performance, while flooding markets with locations that cannibalized each other. One suit alleged some franchisees were losing money on every sandwich they sold, even as headquarters collected on the ingredients that made it. The lawsuits didn't take Quiznos down by themselves, but they confirmed, in writing, what franchisees had been saying in private for years. The parent company and the person behind the counter were never actually on the same team. And underneath all of it, something worse was building: debt. Quiznos had financed its explosive growth with hundreds of millions of dollars in loans, the kind of debt that's easy to carry when new franchise fees keep flowing in, and brutal to service the moment growth stalls. As store closures accelerated through 2009 and into the early 2010s, revenue that was supposed to cover those loans started drying up. Locations that had once numbered over 5,000 fell by more than half within a few years. Owners who'd sunk their life savings into a Quiznos lease were closing up, walking away from franchise fees they'd never recoup, while the parent company scrambled to restructure a mountain of debt it had taken on during the good years. The brand that once out-expanded Subway was now shrinking faster than almost any chain in the country. In 2014, Quiznos filed for bankruptcy, wiping out roughly $500 million in debt and handing control to its lenders. It emerged from that restructuring smaller, a few hundred locations left standing, where there had once been thousands. The brand technically still exists today, scattered in pockets around the country, mostly unrecognizable next to what it was at its peak. What's striking is that Quiznos didn't lose because the food got worse or because customers turned on it. Blind taste tests still favored it over Subway in plenty of markets. It lost because the system built to fund its growth was never designed to keep its own franchisees alive, and eventually, there weren't enough of them left standing to keep the lights on. The lesson isn't really about sandwiches. It's about who actually profits when a company grows fast, because rapid expansion can look like success from the outside, while quietly guaranteeing failure for the people funding it from the inside. Quiznos didn't fail because it couldn't compete for customers. It failed because it never had to compete for its own franchisees' survival. Corporate got paid either way. And Quiznos isn't even the strangest version of this story. At least Quiznos had a real product people liked. Blockbuster had something even bigger. The entire home entertainment market. Cornered, with almost no competition in sight, it still collapsed. And the company most people blame for killing it isn't even the one that actually did.